Hello, friends and viewers. Kevin here. Welcome to another episode of Kevin's Corner. You might have noticed it's a bit of a different setup this time around, and you might have also noticed that I have a ring light now. That's right. We're going into 2020 with what production value. So today we're going to be looking at Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Or what it's now known as Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. Which, by the way, I told you guys that this was primarily a Harley Quinn movie featuring the Birds of Prey. I don't really know why the movie wasn't just called Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey from the beginning. It feels like that makes more sense. I really can't believe that DC and Warner Brothers changed the title of the movie after its release. Guys, you can't do that. It's not a YouTube video. I mean, they showed the original title twice in the movie. At the beginning and at the end. So it just really seems like a very bizarre marketing strategy to re-release the title, whatever. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment whether you agree or disagree with my opinion, and subscribe for more movie reviews if you have not already. So in this movie, a newly single Harley Quinn has a huge target on her back from just about every criminal in Gotham, including the crime lord Black Mask. And without the Joker's protection, she's got to figure out a way to get by. But through a plot involving a mob family's diamond, she ends up teaming up with 4 other women who have a common enemy. So, before I get into the actual review, you might have noticed that I have my Harley Quinn popcorn bucket that I had in my reaction trailer video. And like that, there is no popcorn in here, but there is something, and I'm going to show you what is inside here. It is a delicious egg sandwich. Now, it's a little different than the perfect one that Harley has in her movie. I have it on a croissant, and there's no hot sauce on it, but there is avocado, and instead of American cheese, I have Munster. So, this is going to be a movie review and a mukbang. Anyway, let's go. The yolk is dripping. I normally don't eat it. I normally have egg sandwiches with the yolk broken, but I don't know, I just wanted to be special, so oh well. Okay. So far, so good. The sandwich, I mean. The movie, too. Anyway, the good. So even though in my trailer reaction video, I said it looked a lot of fun and I was really excited for it, part of me was a little bit hesitant. A part of me thought maybe I was wrong. Maybe I would be wrong and it would be bad like Suicide Squad was. But, fortunately, I was right. This movie is a lot of fun. Fun from start to finish. Harley Quinn serves as the narrator in this movie, and she's basically a female Deadpool. Whether or not you interpret that as a positive or a negative thing, that's, well, up to you. I personally see it as a positive. Get into the yolk here. Hang on. I need a napkin. I've literally been holding back lunch so that I can make this video with the egg sandwich like a mukbang. So, this movie, it's got action, it's funny, the characters are great, and oh my god, the set design is probably my favorite aspect of the movie. I know it's a pipe dream considering that this is a February release, but I really hope this movie gets nominated for an Oscar for production design, or for anything for production design, because honestly, I think it deserves it. The movie's soundtrack is also very good. There's a lot of little things that are put in the movie, like here and there, that make you go, oh yeah, this was definitely directed by a woman. In a good way. In a good way. Because, that's how it should be. Movies about women should be directed by women. Because women know women. So, hello. So, Margot Robbie, she is just amazing as Harley Quinn. Even better than she was in Suicide Squad. And she was one of the good parts of Suicide Squad, but she's been better in this movie. She is fully, she's amazing. And the stunts that she does, I don't know if she does all of her stunts, but she did at least some of them. And I gotta say, she did that. I don't know how much she actually did, but she did that. Ian McGregor also does a great job as Black Mask, which, by the way, they never call him Black Mask in the movie. They always call him by his actual name, Roman Sionis, which I don't understand because Black Mask is so much easier to remember than that. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they don't just call him Black Mask. Like, even the merchandise refers to him as Roman Sionis and not Black Mask. But it's like, it's much more marketable. It's easier to remember. Black Mask. He's called that because he wears a black mask. At least sometimes he does. Most of the movie, he's not. Because, in a live-action movie, you gotta have the actor show their face in order to, act. But I just want to say, Mandalorian. Just say. Oh my goodness. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but this is really good. I don't know if you can tell. You could see the avocado in there. Yeah. Well, I also like to season my eggs with salt, pepper, garlic powder, oregano, and parsley. I mean, that's just how I do it. And I normally don't use a croissant. I normally have rye bread, but I decided to be a little fancy today. It's a special occasion. Anyway, so back to the movie. So Ian McGregor does a great job as Roman Sionis, or Black Mask. He's so charismatic, but at the same time, he's also such a slime ball. Like, you just hate him, but you love him. You love to hate him. Yeah, great villain, because he's lovable, but he's also hateful at the same time. Mary Elizabeth Winstead also is surprisingly funny as Huntress, because the character is not very comedic, or at least she, is not originally, but they actually do have a comedic twist on her, and it's actually pretty funny, and I liked it, and she was totally kick-ass, and as was Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya. She got a few laughs too. Just overall, the cast was pretty good. Also, like in Dolittle, there is an animated segment in the beginning of the movie, but unlike Dolittle, I didn't mind that the whole movie wasn't this, because the rest of the movie I actually enjoyed. So, let's move on to the bad of the movie. Gotta be honest, there's not a lot here, but there are a few things. A few little things. During the first half of the movie, the movie's kind of told a little bit out of order, which is, it's kind of for comedic effect, but it's also kind of a little confusing and a little irritating. But, you get over it. Some of the characters are very different from their comic book counterparts. Making a character different isn't inherently bad, but if you're really attached to a certain version of the character, seeing a different one could possibly alienate you. For example, Mr. Zaz, played by Chris Messina, for some reason in the movie, they made him so horny. He's just, really horny for, everyone. It's kind of bizarre, which I don't think he's like that in the comics. In the comics, I know that his deal is that, he's a psychopath who carves tally marks into his skin for the people that he's killed. And he does that in this movie, but it's not really brought up until, the very end, and even then it's kind of oh, okay, I guess that's a thing you do. Alright. It's not really relevant to his character. In this movie, he's mostly just Black Mask's, henchman, who's also possibly his lover? I mean, the two of them have very sexual chemistry in this movie. I'm not saying that I ship them because they're awful. I'm just saying I don't believe they never f***ed. Ian McGregor said in an interview that the two of them were in a relationship, but it's well, why would you do that? That's kind of weird. But obviously, just an actor saying that's not official. And even if it was, that's kind of not the LGBT representation that we need. I mean, they cut people's faces off, ew. And we already have LGBT representation in the movie. I mean, Renee Montoya's right there, and Ali Wong is playing her ex-girlfriend. That's also another thing. I was a little disappointed with how little of a role Ali Wong had. So speaking of characters that I feel like were underutilized in the movie, Bruce the hyena, I kind of was hoping that he would have a bigger role. But I can understand why, because they use a real hyena to play him. It's not a CGI model, it's a real hyena. So I think that the reason he had such a small role in the movie was probably for practical reasons. But then it feels like, what was the point of having this hyena in the movie other than the fact that Harley Quinn has hyenas in the comics? I also think that practicality is a reason why she has one in this movie instead of two. Joke is getting kind of messy. All right, so now let's move on to spoiler talk. Ooh. So I love the fact that this movie's climax takes place entirely in a fun house at an abandoned amusement park. That's amazing. And I know it's Amusement Mile, it's a big thing in the comics. Which, how have, amusement parks not just, straight up been outlawed in Gotham City by now, considering how many times the Joker takes them over to be his lair? I don't know how they're still legal. Or if they are. I don't know. But anyway, so the climax is in this funhouse, but I'm not really sure what kind of funhouse it's supposed to be. It's did this used to be a regular funhouse, and is it now a funhouse for adults? Because there's a lot of adult imagery in there, like naked people and stuff. But then there's or what is it used to be a funhouse, but then Joker and Harley modified it to be their lair at one point, but then abandoned it. They don't really, it's not really clear, but it looks cool though. That's what's important. Speaking of the Joker, I kind of have mixed feelings about his absence in the movie. Because on the one hand, I really don't want to see Jared Leto's Joker again, because it's that bad. But on the other hand, it is a little bizarre that this character, who's talked about a lot in this movie, never makes an appearance. It's a little strange. Unless it's the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, which it's not. I have a hard time believing that he could seduce Margot Robbie. He had an imaginary girlfriend in that movie. I have a hard enough time believing that the Jared Leto Joker could seduce her. But then again, Ariana Grande almost married Pete Davidson, so... And where's Batman, too? This whole movie takes place in Gotham City, and yet he's nowhere to be seen. Maybe this movie takes place during the same time as Justice League, so while Harley is whooping ass in awesome sets, Batman is in a CGI mess that looks way worse in 4K than it did in theaters. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, guys, I was a little too easy on that movie. Anyway, to further elaborate what I meant about Bruce the hyena, not Bruce Wayne, Bruce the hyena, what I meant by him having a small role, there's a point in the movie where the movie tries to trick you into believing that he's dead. But they leave it kind of ambiguous, because when that happens, Harley doesn't say, oh no, he's dead. She says, I can't find him. Even though he ran into an explosion and was seemingly crushed by debris? And so at this point, I thought, oh, maybe during the climax, Harley will be in trouble, but then Bruce will come in, swoop in, and save her, revealing that he survived. But no, that never happens. Instead, during the epilogue, Harley just offhandedly mentions, oh yeah, by the way, I found my hyena, he's fine. So there's also this scene where Harley breaks into the Gotham City police station, and she breaks into it using a non-lethal grenade launcher that fires, glitter bombs, it fires, paint smoke, and I think rosebuds? I think that's the other thing that it fires. I'm not really sure. It looks like rosebuds. Now, I don't really know why, from Harley's perspective, she used non-lethal force. I can understand that, like, if she did use lethal force on all these police officers in this police station, if Harley actually killed all these police officers, she'd probably have, like, a SWAT team on her ass, and she'd probably get sent to the electric chair. Also, I doubt that Renee would, really want to team up with her after, she did that. There's also probably a law that you can't depict a police station being shot up in a movie, probably. And even if there isn't, especially in America, that's, not in very good taste. Unlike this egg sandwich. I'm just saying, from Harley's point of view, why would she use non-lethal force? Like, she's a crazed criminal. She doesn't care if a few cops die. She's probably killed a few, back when she was working with the Joker. And it's not like she's completely turned over a new leaf at this point. I don't know. Maybe she just saw Spies in Disguise. I don't know. And was like, hey, non-lethal force is cool. I'm gonna do that. And why do none of the cops use lethal force back on her? White privilege, y'all. So there's a point in the movie where it's finally revealed that Black Canary has a sonic scream power. If you know anything about Black Canary in the comics, you know that she has this superpower where she has a superpowered scream that's like a sonic blast. And she does this during the climax of the movie. But no one really seems to react too well. Seems to be too surprised by it. They're just kind of like, oh, that's cool. Okay, we can get by these bad guys now. Like, I know that this is a universe full of metahumans, but I would have thought that maybe, like, at least by the time they get to the taco place, like, somebody would have been like, hey, so when were you gonna tell us that you're a metahuman? And I could understand why she didn't use it earlier, because it's, like, really devastating. Like, it's a really powerful attack, so, like, probably would have caused a lot of collateral damage if she were to do it inside. Also, it looks like she fainted after she did it, so I guess it takes a lot out of her in this version. But it's just weird that, like, nobody really seems to remark on it, considering that she's the only metahuman in this movie. She's the only character that has superpowers. I don't know. Maybe in this world, people are just like, oh, yeah, that person's a metahuman. It's like, oh, okay. Maybe it's like finding out someone's gay in 2020. You're just like, oh, you're gay? Okay, good for you. Instead of being like, oh, why didn't you tell me you were gay? Like, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah, I should have done this with a napkin in my lap. Oh, I'm getting a really good... Oh, that was a really good piece of avocado that was in there. I love avocado. I don't know why Harley didn't get avocado in her perfect egg sandwich, but... I don't know, I guess it's not for everyone. So, as I'm almost finished with my egg sandwich, guess I should wrap up my final thoughts and the ranking of the movie. So, the last time I reviewed a DC movie, it wasn't good. And frankly, I was a little too easy on it, because it was a pretty bad movie. But, in recent years, or really in recent year, if I'm being honest, DC's kind of been on a roll with their movies. I mean, with Shazam and Joker, and now Birds of Prey. Although I don't really count Joker as a DC movie as much as an art house movie that just has a DC sticker slapped on top of it. I'm just saying. Anyway, whatever, I'm going on a tangent. But yeah, this movie is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. On a scale of bad, okay, good, and, gotta put this down for a sec. Great. I give Birds of Prey a good. And it's about time I gave a movie a good review, because the last few have been, only okay and bad. And you know what? We gotta bring some positivity in here. We gotta bring balance to the force. Uh-oh. What? All right, guys, I just finished my egg sandwich. That was real good. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but that was really good. That was a really good sandwich, guys. Honestly, you should try it. Again, it's a croissant roll with eggs, bacon. Put a little bit of butter on the croissant. Just a little bit, not a lot. And I put avocado on both sides and toasted it. I lightly toasted it by putting it in the toaster oven. I actually burned my first one, but whatever. Also, put salt, pepper, garlic powder, and oregano leaves.
Oregano? What the hell?
So that's my review. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye. Whoosh! I actually just remembered they don't sing the song from Brave and the Bold in this movie, so I'm actually going to have to take back my review. 0 out of 10. Don't watch this movie. It's awful. No one does it better than the birds of prey. Ooh, the one and only birds of prey.